Well, welcome to the next session. And we're going to do some review and then teach you something new. Often when we're standing around, warming up, getting ready to get moving, we do the bear. So do the bear for a moment just to get yourself in the Tai Chi space. We won't do all 5 animals, but the bear is a pretty good standalone. It's easy, it feels nice, wakes up your body, gets you moving. So we'll do that for another few rounds. And I'll use this time to just remind you that we're working through these in a pretty directed clip. So be sure to work with each lesson as often as you need to until you feel like you're ready to move on to the next one. That's the beauty of having it recorded. You can always come back to it. So breathing, relaxing, and take a break. Let's do the form. We'll go over what we've already learned, and that's going from the opening move to push. Let's all face the same way. That's what I was thinking. Okay. So, feel comfortable. Get your feet on the ground. Your head suspended from above. Whole body hanging down. Comfortable, open, relaxed. Breathing, and begin. I'll do this once without talking so you can see how much you've remembered. And let's do it again. I'll say some words this time. Okay, so this is your preparation. Feet are in a V. Weight is evenly distributed across each foot. You've got the tripod of the ball behind the big toe, ball behind the little toe, and the heel, all in contact. And begin. Shift to the right, step laterally to the left, shift to the left, open slightly to the right, turn back to the front, right foot pivots on heel, come up to an unlocked knee position. Raise arms. Long curve out to the fingertips, hands come back toward the body, elbows drop, fingers point up, hands come back down. That's the opening move. Next is ward off left. Shift to the left, turn to the right. Right arm comes into play. Left hand comes in underneath it. Shift to the right leg. Shift to the corner. Step out. Ward off left. All the way into your left leg. Turn to the corner. Ball of air. Step to the right. Begin to shift, 70-30, more weight in your front leg, ward off right. Stay in the right, turn, Sit into the back leg, turn to the corner, roll back. Turn a little more, left arm swings. Comes back toward your right hand as you come back to the front, and shift, press. Sitting away from your hands, all the weight in the back leg, elbows drop, come forward, arms expand, push. Let's do it a few more times. Begin. Opening move. Ward off left. Ward off right. Roll back. Press. Push. Let's do it another time. This time I'll just tell you where the weight is in your feet. Okay, you're 50-50 in each foot. Begin. 100% right foot. 100% left foot. Center, both feet. Hundred percent in the left. 100% in the right. Seventy, 30, 70 in the left. 100% left. Seventy, 30, 70 in the right. A little more into the right. 100% left. Seventy, 30, right. 100% left. And back to 70, 30. And we'll do it one more time. I won't say anything, and you get to just do it along with us. Begin. Okay, I want to go through it one more time. This time I'm going to face you, and Lee's going to face the direction you're facing, and we're going to stop at each final posture for a moment. One of the things we do in Tai Chi is we take the postures and relax into them. It helps you remember where you are, sort of get the feeling from the inside, gives you a chance to notice if you've got tension and see if you can let it go, and just become more aware of your body and how it's moving in the form. So let's do it together. I'll face you. And begin. Okay, so feel your feet on the ground, your head suspended from above, and raise hands. And then just hold it here a moment. We often use this as a standing posture where we just work on alignment, relaxation, and meditation. So as you stand here, just feel your feet, feel the top of your head, feel the whole body hanging down, giving in to gravity. Because you're suspended from above, you can just let go. Breathe, relax. We'll take a couple good breaths. And now we'll move on. Shift and turn. Shift. Turn to the corner. Step out. Heel first. Sit down. And shift into ward off left. Stand here a moment. How's your 70-30? Do you want to fix it a little bit? Get your feet in a slightly better position. Check where your arms are. Can you let your shoulders relax? Can you let your belly relax? Just notice whatever you can notice about the posture. By feeling, not thinking. What's happening at the bottoms of your feet? Do both feet have a connection to the ground? I'll just hold this another breath or two. And continue. Shift all your weight forward to the left leg and turn to the corner. Your hands are in a ball of air. Take a step. Begin to shift. Right arm comes up. More weight in the front leg. Turn into your 70-30. Hang out here a moment. Do you want to fix your feet? Go ahead and reposition them. Is your front foot pointing straight ahead? Rear foot at a comfortable angle? How are your arms? Can you let your shoulders go? Be sure to breathe. Breathe down into your dantian. Let it fill your whole body. As you relax, let the breath help you relax. Another breath or two. And continue. A little more weight in the right. Turn to the right. Sit into the back leg. Left fingers by right elbow, palm up. All the weight, as much as you can get, in your rear leg. You're a little bit facing the right corner. And you can turn from the right corner to the left corner. And this is still part of rollback. Then turn more, swing your arm, come back to the center, and come into 70-30 again. Press. With any luck, your feet still feel good because they haven't changed. Can you relax your shoulders? Feel your feet on the ground. Give in to the ground. Breathing and letting go. Next one. Sitting into the back leg, hands come apart, palm down, elbows drop into your root. All your weight's in your back leg, and then you come forward. It's as if your hands are hanging, your fingers are hanging. You'd like off, our teacher Jane used to say, like they're hanging off a clothesline. So your elbows are heavy, your hands are light, and you don't have to hold them up. Let them down. Breathing, we're going to take a break in an instant, so just give it one more sec of breathing and relaxing, and then rest your legs. So there's basically two approaches to Tai Chi practice. One is flow, and one is working like we just did, where you stop, you check things, and work on each posture as its own. Maybe you bring some awareness to the transitions, which we'll go over in a minute. But it's always good to start your first form as a flow form. So don't get caught in the details or getting anything right. When you start your very first form of the day to practice, just go for the flow. That's really important, that you enjoy it and you not start picking it apart before you've had a chance to just make it all be one. After that, if you have more time, you can spend time looking at the details, working on individual aspects of a move, holding postures, whatever. So be sure to give yourself that opportunity. I want to look at the ways that we transition. You've been learning the moves. I want to do a little transition work. So the first one is from the opening move. Let's do the opening move. I'll keep facing you. You've got Lee facing the same direction that you are. And begin. So this one should feel really familiar now. You've been doing it for weeks. Hands raise, come in, point up, and come back down. Now this next transition has a few parts. Sit into the left, right arm starts rising, turn toward that right arm, left hand comes in underneath it, making this ball of air shape. Right foot has pivoted on the heel. Ideally, there's no weight in your right leg yet. Then you shift toward your hands, toward the wall, let the left leg go so that all this is hanging and soft. Turn to the corner and take a step. Heel first without putting weight in it yet, and then sit down. Your right hand is dropping, your left hand is coming up, your weight is shifting. Now you've got more weight in the left leg. Turn in back foot. That puts the hands into their final position. Let's just do that transition from the end of the opening move into ward off left another time. I won't talk so much because that slows us down. We'll just keep flowing. So you're starting 50-50, feet a comfortable distance apart. And begin. Shift and turn. step. And again, just that transition. Begin. And again. Weight in the left, right arm comes up, turn to the right, pivot on the right foot, shift toward the wall, release the left, turn to the corner, step out, begin to shift, hands switch, more weight in your front leg, turn in, back foot on the heel as you come into the final posture. And rest your legs. So that's some stuff on that transition. Now let's look at the transition out of ward off left into ward off right. So let's get into ward off left again. At some point you'll become facile with being able to just drop into a posture to move into the next one, but right now let's give it some context. So 50-50 and begin. Shift, turn, step, shift, final posture, ward off left. All the weight into your left leg and turn to the corner. Step to the right, begin to shift, right hand comes up, turn in back foot and dantian. Now you're in ward off right. So some things about this one. You can take a break a moment and just watch. As you come out of your 70-30 into 100% in that front leg, you're not going to go anywhere yet. As you come forward, notice how this hand comes over here, just because that's what's happening when you shift all your weight into that leg. And that gives you the ball of air relationship, because you started over here. That wouldn't make a ball of air. But when you come into your front leg, that hand moves and gives you a chance to set up for the ball of air. So now you're in a corner. Use that corner and the ball of air to reposition your right foot. You're just going for another 70-30. Chances are the best place to think about stepping is a little bit to the right, so that when you come around, you've still got some space between your legs. If you just step straight ahead, and when you come into this posture, if it feels like you want to be something like this, it's because I stepped really long but didn't give myself any space this way. And so there's nowhere for my back foot to turn in, and I just kind of get stuck here. So watch how it works. From here, I'm not thinking this way, I'm thinking that way a little bit. And then when I come into the final posture, I've got space for the back foot to turn in on the heel. Let's do that transition a few times. So we're in ward off left, 70-30, left foot forward, right hand in front of your right thigh, left arm is rounded, palm facing the body. All the weight into the right leg, left leg, sorry. All the way into the left leg, and the right hand comes into position so that when you turn to the right corner, your hands will be in a ball of air. Take a little step to the right, begin to shift. Sitting down, right hand comes up, turn in, back foot on the heel. Let's do that again, and I'll try to say the correct names for which leg I'm talking about. So, ward off left leg is forward, left hand is high, 100% into your left leg, turn to the right, ball of air, step to the right, right hand comes up, more weight in your right leg, turn in, back foot, and dantian. And let's do it one more time. I won't talk and make it all broken up, and we can just flow through that transition. Begin. Okay. So we'll do this one more time from the opening to push. Then we'll go over the brush knee, play guitar, brush knee sequence a little bit, and then I'll hand it over to Lee, who will teach you a new move. I'll face the same way as you. Begin. Now let's face this way to do brush knee, play guitar, brush knee. So your left leg is forward, 70-30. Right hand is high like a push, left hand by your left thigh. All the weight goes down into your left leg, right foot comes off the ground. Replace the right foot, shift onto it, stretching the rubber band and releasing it. Continue. Arm swings, front hand folds, top hand folds, left foot steps, brush knee. Gathering into the left leg, releasing into the right leg. Play guitar. Turn, arm swings, front hand drops, right back hand folds, left foot steps, shift, brush knee. All into the left, all the weight into the right. Play guitar. Turn. Front hand drops, rear hand folds, left foot steps, shift, brush knee. And again, gather and release into the back leg, pulling the rubber band and letting it go. Turn. Front hand drops, rear hand folds, left foot steps, shift, turn to the front, complete the move. Rest your legs. So we'll go over that one. It doesn't come up yet for a while. But there's a lot of good stuff in there that we want to get you used to doing so that when it comes up later in the form, it will feel familiar, and along the way it'll help you develop some of those skills. And now Lee will teach you a new move.
Let's do some more. I'm going to teach you the move named single whip. And this is the archetypal Tai Chi move. So if you ever see anybody doing Tai Chi, like if you see a movie or something and they want to show you that someone's doing Tai Chi, you'll see them doing this move. I'm told that when they did the Olympics in China and they had that big, giant, hundreds of people doing Tai Chi to open it up, that before that they had painted banners in all of the subways in Beijing and Shanghai and the other big cities that had a stylized picture of somebody doing single whip. So this is like the move. When you want to tell your friends that you've learned some Tai Chi, then, nobody's going to get too excited seeing you do this, but they'll think this is cool. So we're going to teach you that. I just showed you the final, but we got to get there from push. So let's do it together a bunch of times. I'll teach it to you in little bits, and then we'll put it together, and then we'll do the whole form up to single whip. So start out in push. This is just where we finished. Front, right foot is forward. Your hands are vertical. It's like you're pushing. So the very first thing you do is you sit all the way into the back leg, and you let the forearms lay down. So do that again. Come back into push. 70-30, 70% of the weight in the right leg. Sit all the way into the back leg. Let the forearms lay down. Come back to the front. Sit all the way in the back leg. And now just turn. Doesn't matter how far you turn, but turn and pivot on the heel of your front foot, keeping the arms in front of you. So back to push. Sit back and turn. Make sure the right foot pivoted on the heel. Back to push. All the weight in the back. The hands are right in front of your shoulders. Your nose is over your belly button. Turn. Keep the hands in front of the shoulders. Keep the nose over the belly button. Let the front foot pivot. And do that once more. Push. Sit back and turn. Great. Take a break. So when Beth was having us work slowly and carefully through those initial moves, you may have experienced some tiredness in your legs. Yeah. And so part of what you're going to need to work with, part of why we do this posture holding, is so that you can be there and start to feel that discomfort and find a way to relax through it. Now, you don't want to do it so long that you start to build tension. I don't want to be standing there and then, I'm going to stay here, 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 I'm going to stay here. So that was too long that I was holding it and it built tension in my body. So what I want to do is I want to stand there. And when I start feeling tired, I want to just let go. Just let go. Keep relaxing in the face of that. When it gets to be too much, don't feel bad. Stand up, take a break, shake your legs out, and then you can do it some more. So when we're doing these videos, if we hold a posture longer than you can hold staying relaxed, go ahead and take a break, but then come back to it. And that will, with time, get your legs more able to support you without struggling, and you'll really need that. In this move, you really need that. So doing this again, let me show you. I'm going to face the other way so you see. I'm in push. I sit all the way back. At this point, I'm really 100% back. My front foot doesn't have any weight in it. And look how I am. I was in push and I sat back. My fingers are right in front of my shoulders. My nose is right over my belly button. So I sit back, and when I turn, I only turn as far as I can maintain that. Shoulders over hips, hands in front of shoulders, nose and belly button aligned. I don't turn farther. So you see what happened here. My hips didn't move at all. My head moved a bunch and I moved my arms. And it's no longer true that my nose is over my belly button, or that my shoulders are in front of my hips, or that my hands are actually in front of the shoulders. So it doesn't matter how far you turn here. Turn as far as you can turn. So you sit back, forearms have laid down, turn the waist pivoting on the heel of the front foot. Go as far as you can go, keeping the shoulders over the hips. So let's do it some more. Push. Sit back, forearms lay down. Try to get all the weight in the back. Turn, keep yourself aligned. Nose over belly button, shoulders over hips, hands in front of the shoulders. Back to push. Sit back and turn. One more time. From push, sit back, and turn. Okay, now your weight is in your left leg. So just shift it into the right, and then turn to the right. As you do that, your right hand makes a hook, just like the crane animal frolic, and your left hand comes in underneath it. Let me show you, and then we'll do it some more. So I'm in push, I sit back, I avoid leaning, I want to still stay upright here. I turn without twisting, I shift to the right, and now I turn to the right, and as I turn to the right, my left hand drops, palm up, and comes underneath the right hand, and the right hand draws a hook as it does that. One of the images for this is that I'm holding a tea bag in my right hand, and the left hand is a saucer that's catching the drips. So actually get them aligned. Don't drip on the floor or the rug or wherever you are. You sit back and turn. I keep that alignment. I shift to the right, and I turn to the right. I still have that alignment. Nose over belly button, shoulders over hips. Right hand has made a hook, left hand is underneath it. This hook is just like what we do in the crane. All 4 proper fingers come and touch the thumb, and the whole hook hangs like a ripe fruit. So let's do it. Push. Sit back all the way. You've got the alignment, nose over belly button, shoulders over hips. Turn, pivoting on the right heel. Shift to the right. Turn to the right. Left hand comes under the right hand makes a hook. You're still got the alignment, nose over belly button, shoulders over hips. Again. Push. Sit back and turn. Shift to the right and turn. Make the hook. Again, push. Sit back and then turn. Shift to the right. Turn to the right. Left hand under right. Right hand makes a hook. Once more. All the weight into the back. Turn the waist to turn. Shift your weight to the right foot, turn the waist to gather the hook, bring the left hand underneath it. Try to have all your weight in your right foot here so that your left foot isn't holding you up. It's really easy for the weight to mush between them and end up in both of them. Try to get all your weight in the right foot. I don't care if you pick your foot up or not. We do that to demonstrate to you that our weight is really separated. You don't need to worry about picking your foot up at this point, but really try to know which leg your foot's in. So this whole piece introduces another one of the core 5 principles in Tai Chi. So the first one is relax, and we'll talk about this one all the time. Relax really means letting go and using the bare minimum amount of muscular effort in order to do something. So do this with me. Hold your arm out just straight in front of you, and isometric contraction. Tighten the muscles in your arm as much as you can. And now bring that hand and touch your forehead. Now hold that same arm out. Let everything be as soft and relaxed as you can be, and touch your forehead. So that's what we're seeking, right? If you gave me a general anesthetic, I would fall to the ground. If you gave me a general anesthetic and my arm was held out, it would fall. So I have to use some muscles in there. But there's a big difference between using the bare minimum of muscles that you need to hold the hand up, which then makes it easy to move, or fighting against yourself by having more contraction, right? I had you do maximum, but you don't have to do maximum. You can be out here, nothing, easy, and then you can contract 50% of the way, and you can still move the hand, but it's a far different thing than moving it in the relaxed place. I go to 100% because then you see you can hardly move it. You're fighting against yourself. And so we do that in our regular postures. The way we stand is one which requires that we have excess muscular activation in order to keep standing there. And we want to teach ourselves to move with the minimum amount of activation so that we can move easily. When it's time to do something, we're not all locked up. And so we spend tons of time on relax. The bear as you're turning, letting the arm just be completely loose there, rather not stirring the air, but letting the arm just be there. And the whole Tai Chi form will give you a sequence of postures and movements that are basically a problem for you to solve of how do I do this and stay relaxed. So first principle, most important, relax. Second principle, Beth talked about last time, which is separate empty and full. And we start out with that in the weight in the legs. So when I have weight in the leg and I'm standing on it, that's the full leg. The other leg that has a little bit of weight in a 70-30, but I'm not using it to hold me up, that's the empty leg. When I sit back 100%, the leg I'm standing on is full and the other leg is empty, nothing in it. So you're going to want to really work on knowing which leg you're standing in and make that clear. So if you look at the Tai Chi symbol, I don't think either of us are wearing Tai Chi symbols today, but if you look at the yin-yang symbol, which in Chinese is called Tai Chi Tu, it's the Tai Chi symbol. If you look at the yin-yang symbol, it's either one color or the other color. It's not a gray mush. So you're either in one leg or you're in the other leg. You're not in the gray mush in both. Obviously the 50-50 is different. But after that, you're standing on one leg or the other leg. Separate the weight. And so you'll need to work on that, and that will make your legs stronger. And that will give you more ability to move and move skillfully, which is what we're trying to get. The third principle is called turn the waist. Another way that people refer to it is movement coming from the dantian, this point in here, or the center. And so the piece we just did really illustrates turn the waist. In Chinese, the waist name for waist is yao, and it's really this area back here, and then it kind of broadens to be what we would think of as the waist and hips. So it's this whole area, but it's really centered in the lower back, the kidney area. So when we say turn the waist, we mean move the body from this area back here. So if I do push on my way into single whip, and you'll see that as I turn, it's the bottom of the back that's moving there, not turning and twisting. See here, my shoulders are moving without the waist moving. Shoulders are moving without the waist moving. And so you want to really get that all the motion is driven from the center here. All movement comes from the dantian. Turn the waist to make everything happen. So when I'm doing this, it's driven from the waist. It's driven from the waist. And so that gives you a good chance to work on that. And that will maintain this alignment of shoulders over hips, nose over belly button. So let's do that much a couple more times. Then I'll show you the next bit. You're in push. Sit back. Turn the waist. Nose stays with belly button. Shift the weight all the way to the right. Turn the waist. Make the hook hand. Catch the drips with the saucer of your left hand. Back to push. Sit back and turn. Shift and turn, gathering the hook. Again, back to push. Sit back and turn. Shift and turn, gathering the hook. Okay, twice more. Once we'll stop every place, which as Beth talked about, the mode of practicing with posture holding. We'll stop at each of the checkpoints, so you have a chance to check it and correct it, and then we'll run through it as flow. So push. Starting out on push, check your front foot. Is it pointed right exactly square ahead? Do you have width, space side to side between your feet, as well as length? And if you sit into your back foot, are you able to pick your front foot up off the ground without leaning the body? Good 70-30. The two palms are vertical. Beth talked about it being like you were hanging off a clothesline. So if I was the clothespins and there's an invisible clothesline between them, she doesn't do anything. In fact, she's let her arms go entirely. If I were to let go of her hands would just fall. She's not holding them up. I'm holding them up. So that gets her to a place where, I'm going to let go of this one, where she's very relaxed here. This is all just hanging. She's doing the absolute minimum amount of work to keep her arms there. So push. Sit back all the way, let the forearms lay down. The hands should still be shoulder wide apart. Your nose should be over your belly button. Your hands should be in front of your shoulders. You should have all your weight in the back so you can pick up the front foot without leaning. I didn't tell you yet, but the fourth principle is keep the body upright, no leaning. Okay, now turn the waist. Pay attention to the base of your spine and pivot there. Make sure the front foot comes in on the heel and make sure you've still got your weight in your left leg. Nose over belly button, shoulders over hips, hands directly in front of you. Shift to the right. There's the separate, empty, and full. And now turn to the right. from the lower back, let the left hand come in underneath the right hook hand. Okay, great. And once more, we'll just flow through it, and then I'll show you the next bit. Push, sit back and turn. Shift and turn. Great. So we're giving you a lot in this class in the series. So one of the nice things about this is that you've got a pause button. So you can revisit these videos and you can consume them at your pace that makes sense for you. A nice thing to do is to run through the whole thing once, and then you can come back and, for example, you could run through it all today. Tomorrow morning, see if you can remember how to do single whip on your own. Practice the animals, and then practice the form up to your single whip and see how much that you can get on your own. Then the next day, maybe you watch the first half of this video up through what Beth did, and you actually really work on how do you get the those first postures up through push that you've already learned. How do you get the transitions? What do you need to do there? The day after that, you practice on your own. The day after that, you watch the second half of the video again, and now you'll see me teaching all the details of single whip. And so then you can use that to polish your single whip. I don't know if that's the exact right schedule, but the thing is, you've got the ability to do that, and so make use of it. This isn't, these are not thrillers. There's no cliffhangers. You know what comes next. What comes next is we do another piece of Tai Chi, and so practice along with these videos and use them intelligently. Look at a 5-minute clip over and over. You're puzzled about what exactly is happening with his hand, and watch me doing that a couple times. So go ahead and do that, and then make sure that it's actually rolling into your practice, that you're able to do the form on your own, and you're able to make the changes that you just saw. So, really, I'm giving you permission to do what you would do anyway, which is put it on pause and come back to it and do that stuff. But it's right. It's the right thing to do. So do it. Okay, let's do it again. I'll show you the next bit. Push. Sit back all the way and turn your waist. Shift the weight and turn your waist, gathering the hook. Now turn the waist to extend the hook straight out. As you do that, you'll pivot on the ball of the left foot. Okay, let me show you. I sit back, I turn. I shift, I turn. And now what happens, this just spins out. As I turn my waist, I let the hook hand just go out. And it just shoots straight out. It goes right exactly in a straight line wherever it's aimed. And where it'll be aimed is all dependent on how far I turn. If I turn farther, it'll be aimed more over to the right. If I turn less when I shift to the right, it'll be aimed more to the left. But I just send it straight out. I don't take it on a curved path. As I do that, the other foot pivots on the ball. So just let this foot come in like that. Let's do it. Push. Sit back all the way, turn the waist, keep the alignment, shift to the right, turn to the right, gather the hook. Turn, extend the hook. Pivot on the ball of the left foot. Again, push, sit back all the way, turn, shift and turn, gather the hook, turn, extend the hook. Again. From push, all your weight back, and turn your waist. Shift to the right, turn to the right, left hand under right, right fingers come together in a hook. Turn the waist, extend the hook, pivot on the ball of the left foot, and now step for a 70-30 to the left. That's a big wide step. Shift, let the left hand come up. When you've got more weight forward, turn your waist, rear foot on heel, left palm turns out. Single whip. Okay, so now you're cool enough to be on the walls of the Shanghai subway. So let me show you. I stepped back, I turned, I shifted and turned. I turn to extend the hook and pivot it on the ball of the left foot. Now I step for a 70-30. This is the biggest step you've done. As I shift, my left hand comes up across me. So see how this is swinging up. My right hand just stays in place. It's just there. When I've got more weight forward, so I'm 70% in the front leg, I turn my waist and the rear foot on the heel, so I get a 70-30 faced that way. I leave my right hand in place. And my left hand turns palm out. In the final posture, my left hand is directly in front of my right shoulder. It's kind of like a push. And we'll tell you later why it's not exactly like a push, but it's kind of like push. Left wrist is in front of right shoulder, left elbow hangs. So I'm not over here with my left wrist out at my side, and I'm not like this with my elbow poking out. One line, shoulder through to wrist. My right hand is over at the side here. It's high. I'm not drooping. And this is a difficult place to relax. So try to feel as relaxed as you can here. Try to get the wrist about the height of the shoulder. Okay, let's do it. Push. Sit back all the way. Turn your waist, pivot on the front heel. Shift to the right, turn to the right, gather the hook, left hand underneath it. Turn to extend the hook, pivot on the ball of the left foot. Step, heel first for a 70-30. Shift, the left hand comes up. Most of your weight forward, turn your waist, rear foot on heel, left palm out. Left wrist in front of left shoulder, left elbow dangles. Again. Push. Sit back and turn. Shift to the right, turn to the right. Extend the hook by turning the waist, pivot on the ball. Step. Shift. Left hand comes up. Turn the waist, rear foot on heel, left palm out. Once more. From push, sit back and turn. Shift and turn. Turn to extend the hook. Step, 70-30. Shift, front hand comes up. Turn the waist, front palm turns out, rear foot turns on heel. Great. So, single whip. The preeminent Tai Chi move. So, this is the biggest step you've taken. So I'm going to do it so you can see how big the step is, which means I'm going to start facing away from you. So I'm in push, I sit back and turn, I make my hook, I extend the hook, and now I need to end up in a 70-30 facing you. So if I step like this, see how my feet are almost in a line? When I get to this thing, I'm not going to be able to get my waist around, and I'm going to do one of a couple things. I'm going to stop kind of twisted like this, or I'm going to pivot on the ball of the rear foot and push the heel out. And as you'll remember from what we told you, that's a no-no. You never push the heel of the rear foot out when coming into a 70-30. So I have to get width. I've gotten through here, and I have to step over that way, not just to there, but actually over to there. And this is going to be difficult for you for a while. But you want to end up in a good 70-30 with appropriate width between the legs as well as some length. So I can't get away with not doing any length and just stepping next to myself, because you see what this is. This is some kind of, I don't know what this is. It's not a 70-30. So biggest step you've made so far. Give yourself time. When we were first learning, we lived in a house that had an empty room downstairs that we took over as our practice space, and that room was carpeted. And this is Beth's story, so I'm going to tell it for her. But if we were physically here, I'd let her tell it, but you won't be able to hear if she does. And so we were carpeted, and we were learning this move. And so what Beth would do would be get into the move and make a mark on the carpet, because it was a shag carpet. It was old and gross and a rental and all those things. And then she could come from here and aim for that spot that she had made and say, how am I going to get my foot all the way over there? So the good thing is that with time, you will be able to get your foot all the way over there, as long as you try, as long as you aim. So just aim, get what you can get. If you get into single whip and you get to the end and you just don't have enough width, just go ahead and fix your feet so that you do have the width. Okay, let's do it a couple more times. And then we'll do the form that you know all the way up to single whip, and then we'll send you on your way to keep practicing. So, from push, sit back and turn. Weight is in the left leg. Shift to the right, turn to the right, gathering the hook, left hand underneath it so I can catch the T-drips. Turn the waist and extend the right hook. Step, here's that big step. Step for the mark in the carpet. Shift, the front hand comes up. When you've got more weight forward, turn your waist, rear foot on, heel. Front palm turns out. Again. From push, sit back and turn, shift and turn to extend the hook, step, wide step, heel first, shift, left hand comes up, more weight forward, turn your waist, rear foot on heel, left palm out. Once more. From push and go. Okay, so you've got a bunch now. You've got the 5 animal frolics, which are a great thing to do as a warm-up. And as you'll see, when you're practicing the 5 animal frolics, you're actually working the core Tai Chi movement principles and the core Tai Chi movement patterns that then will get put into the form. You've got the brush knee, play guitar sequence. That's the only one we haven't hooked in yet. And so just do that some. Just, get yourself comfortable making these shapes. And do it to get the movement. Don't worry so much about the technical precision yet. Just try to get this feeling of it moving well. So run through that a couple times after you do the animals. And now you've got about half the first third. 6 moves, and we count the first third as having 13 moves. So you're roughly halfway there. And so you can do the form up to single whip and do that a couple times. If you do that, you've got a great practice. You've got a great 15 to 20 minute practice there. Run through the animals quickly, do brush knee ward off, brush knee play guitar, and then do the form up to single whip. Do that a couple times. You're great. That's a nice practice to be building for yourself. And as always, ask us questions, email, text, comment on the YouTube video, whatever works for you. And we will be delighted to answer those. We always love getting questions from people. And keep practicing. When you're practicing, think about the principles. Think about relaxing, so there's no extra tension. Think about separating the weight, empty and full between the feet. Think about turning the waist so that you keep this alignment all the way through there. No turning the head, no twisting the shoulders and the torso. Yeah. There's 2 other principles. We'll get to those over the next weeks. Great. So let's take it from the top. We'll do it from the top all the way up to single whip twice. And I won't talk either time, just so you get a chance to do some Tai Chi without me talking to you. The one thing I will say is, go ahead. Single whip. Hold it here a second. See if you got a good 70-30. If you're too narrow, go ahead and fix your feet. Front foot, left foot pointed straight ahead, right foot at an angle. Make sure your waist is square to the front. So the left quad is creased. Left wrist in front of left shoulder, left elbow dangles. All 4 fingers touch the right thumb, and the hook is hanging loose about the height of your right shoulder. Great. Once more. Whole body is relaxed. And go ahead. Great. So, you know a bunch of Tai Chi now. Oh, for some reason, it's supposed to be good for us somehow if we have more subscribers to our YouTube channel. So if you're watching this and finding it valuable, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And then the other thing, which is actually more practical, we have an email list, and you put yourself on it. We don't put you on it. So if you want to get our very occasional emails a couple times a year, the email that we announced this class when we first put it out on, you can sign up for that. Go to the website, RockyMountainTaiChi.com, look at the Contact Us page, and partway down it, there's a place to click a button and you'll get on our email list. So that's how we'll keep in touch with you, and do those things or don't. Just, do whatever makes sense for you. So, relax, separate the weight, turn the waist. Most important, stay relaxed.